I would like to say good afternoon, everyone. First, let me thank, of course, the Xavier University College of Agriculture, pati na rin yung ISAFE for organizing this timely and very relevant webinar. It is my privilege to share with you the ACPC's Agri-Fishery Credit Programs for our small farmers and fisherfolk and our agri-fishery-based micro and small enterprises. Pero before that, may I request yung aking kasamahan sa ACPC na i-share muna yung short video about the ACPC para yung ating mga viewers, yung ating mga nakikinig at nanonood ngayon ay maintindihan kung ano ang ACPC.
The Agricultural Credit Policy Council, ACPC, is an attached agency of the Department of Agriculture. Created in 1986 by virtue of Executive Order 113, the ACPC's mission is to develop and advocate agri-credit policies and programs that promote farmers' and fisherfolk's access to sustained financial services. The ACPC is a governing council composed of the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture as Chair, the Governor of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas as Vice Chair, together with the Secretaries of the Department of Finance, the Department of Budget and Management, and the Director General of the National Economic and Development Authority as members. Under EO 113, the ACPC is mandated to assist the DA in synchronizing all credit policies and programs in support of the DA's priority programs. In addition, the ACPC is in charge of reviewing and evaluating the economic soundness of all ongoing and proposed agricultural credit programs. For this purpose, ACPC conducts policy research aimed at increasing the flow of credit to the agriculture and fisheries sector. This is supported by ACPC's regular monitoring and evaluation activities aimed at promoting results-based management and accountability. In 1992, under Republic Act 7607, or the Magna Carta of Small Farmers, the agency was additionally given the following mandates: to conduct institutional capacity building programs that transform farmer and fisherfolk organizations into financially viable entities, to undertake information dissemination activities to raise farmers' and fishers' awareness and improve their understanding of the initiatives and interventions being carried out by the agency, and to conduct special projects to promote and manage the implementation of innovative financing schemes for small farmers and fisherfolk, particularly those who lack collateral. As a result of ACPC's policy advocacy work, a series of reforms in agricultural credit were introduced under Republic Act 8435, otherwise known as the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act of 1997, or AFMA. AFMA's policy reform requires that all directed credit programs for agriculture of the government be phased out, and that all the remaining loanable funds be collected and consolidated into the Agro-Industry Modernization Credit and Financing Program, or AMCFP. The ACPC oversees the AMCFP, which is the Government Umbrella Credit Program for agriculture and fisheries. ACPC also assists in the implementation of the Agri-Agra Reform Credit Act, or RA 10,000, by accrediting debt securities and non-bank rural financial institutions where investments in them can be used by banks as alternative form of compliance to the law. To fulfill its mission, ACPC ensures the efficiency of its internal operations, including the management of its information systems, administrative functions, and financial resources. Today, the ACPC remains steadfast in fulfilling its goal of providing easy, convenient, and affordable credit for small farmers and fisherfolk. As the country's premier institution in rural finance research and program development, ACPC continues to perform its unique and vital role in the government's efforts to attain food security and inclusive growth for all. The Agricultural Credit Policy Council, making affordable credit accessible to small farmers and fisherfolk.
Kung ano ang Agricultural Credit Policy Council or ACPC. Kagaya nga na nabanggit sa video, the ACPC is an attached agency of the Department of Agriculture. So now, allow me to present yung credit programs namin na pinapatupad ngayon. So I hope that my presentation will be able to provide the information you need on how agripreneurs and aspiring agripreneurs can access credit through ACPC and hopefully inspire Filipinos, particularly yung ating mga youth, to engage in agriculture and fishery enterprises. Next slide, please. Yan. Yung DA or the Department of Agriculture envisions a food secure and resilient Philippines with empowered and prosperous farmers and fisherfolk. To attain this task, the DA has crafted strategies to help farmers and fisherfolk as well as their families. Ang tawag namin dito sa DA, One DA Reform Agenda or yung tinatawag natin na One DA Approach, which is composed of 18 key strategic forward-thinking steps. Given the fact that limited access to credit has been one of the long-standing challenges that hamper productivity in the agri-fishery sector, one of the identified strategies under the One DA approach is the provision of credit to farmers and fisherfolk. Next slide, please. This is where our agency, the Agricultural Credit Policy Council or ACPC, comes in. As I've said, the ACPC is an attached agency of the DA under the helm, of course, of Secretary William Dar. Essentially, ACPC's goal is to increase the access of our small farmers and fisherfolk, including yung ating mga agri-fishery-based micro and small enterprises to easy, affordable, and timely credit. In order to achieve this goal, one of the functions of ACPC is to develop and design innovative financing programs na nagre-respond sa mga requirements ng ating mga farmers and fishers. Kaya naman kami, nakikipag-partner kami doon sa tinatawag namin na lending conduits na pwedeng government financial institutions, non-government financial institutions such as cooperative banks, rural banks, cooperatives. Ang main task ng ating mga lending conduits is to evaluate and approve applications and disperse loans to eligible borrowers and collect loan repayments. Kasi yung ACPC per law, we cannot do direct lending. So in short, we cannot perform this task. Our program continued to contribute significantly to financial inclusion as it enables the unserved and underserved small farmers and fishers to have easier access to financing. Next slide, please. Yan. So with that background, let me now present yung isa sa mga credit programs namin na ini-implement. It's called the Expanded Sure Aid and Recovery Project or Sure COVID-19 for Micro and Small Enterprises or MSEs. The program is part of the Ahon Lahat, Pagkaing Sapat, Contract COVID-19. Ito yung DA's initiative to increase the country's food adequacy level during the emergency situation resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Under the Sure COVID-19 Micro and Small Enterprises, eligible loan purpose is to provide working capital requirement of agri-fishery-based MSEs to ensure the availability of food supply and to help them recover their losses incurred from the effects of the lockdown due to COVID-19. borrowers may avail themselves of up to 10 million, zero interest rate, and payable up to 5 years. Of course, wala po itong collateral. Next slide. Ayan. Ano naman po yung eligibility requirements for the MSEs? They must be registered with the CDA or SEC or DOLE or other government registering institutions. They must be operational for at least 1 year. They must have proven management capacity to implement a project, and they have readily available agri-fishery products from farmers and fisherfolk. On the other hand, ito naman yung mga application requirements ng MSEs. Number 1, endorsement letter from the DARFO or the provincial or municipal LGU and other partner government agencies. Meron dapat letter of intent or application. Merong board resolution signifying the intention to be a borrower and designating its authorized signatories. There must be a business plan and a copy of certificate of registration documents either from the CDA or SEC or other government registering institutions. And finally, meron dapat financial statements for the past 3 years preceding the date of the application. Yan. This is Mr. Arnulfo Magcope. Siya yung General Manager of Ibon Multipurpose Cooperative in Aklan. According to General Manager Magcope, mobility was the biggest challenge during the ECQ. He added that farming and fishing activities slowed down and many opportunities were lost for the cooperative. But through the Sure COVID-19 for MSEs, Ibon MPC was able to loan 10 million, which has no interest and no collateral. They used the loan as additional capital requirement to buy palay harvest from farmer members, certified seeds from seed growers, farm inputs needed by farmers, and piglets from members engaged in hog breeding. The 10 million working capital, which is payable in 5 years, is projected to contribute in increasing Ibon MPC's annual income by at least 10%. It will also expand the production and trading operations of the cooperative, provide timely supply inputs and marketing support to farmers, contribute in stabilizing the supply of quality milled rice, and improve the production and supply of quality pork in their area of coverage. And next slide. Ayan. Let's now proceed to the second program. It is called the Capital Access for Young Agripreneurs or KAYA. Itong program na ito, ang tinatarget natin ay yung younger generation of Filipinos na gusto nating maging key players in ensuring affordability and availability of food supply. The eligible loan purpose for KAYA is to finance the capital requirements of startup or existing farm fishery businesses. Under the program, our young agripreneurs may borrow uncollateralized loans up to 500,000 at zero interest payable up to 5 years. Next slide. Ayan. Ano naman yung eligibility requirements as well as yung documentary requirements? KAYA is a loan facility for young agripreneurs who are 18 to 30 years old and graduates of formal or non-formal schooling, including but not limited to graduates of agriculture and fishery-related degrees from higher education institutions, DA and ATI accredited programs, farm schools, and secondary schools with agri-fishery related courses. Kagaya nga nung nabanggit ni Ms. Joanne kanina, napakarami ngayon viewers from state universities and colleges from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, as well as yung mga private universities and colleges. So kung kayo ay mga interesadong mag-venture into agriculture, pwede kayong mag-avail nitong loan program na ito na ang tinatawag nating KAYA. Ano naman yung mga basic documentary requirements ng mga borrowers ng kaya? Meron dapat government-issued ID with picture. Of course, kailangan fill upan yung loan application form. Meron dapat maipresenta na simple business plan. At meron siya dapat proof of registration under the registry system for basic sector in agriculture or RSBSA or the Farmers and Fisherfolk Enterprise Development Information System. Marami ang magtatanong dito, uunahin ko na ano ba itong RSPSA. Yung po kasing pondo natin ay galing dun sa tinatawag natin na GAA at napapaloob po doon na kailangan yung mga borrowers ay registered under the RSBSA or the FEDIS. Kung yung mga manghihiram po or gustong manghiram ay hindi registered under the RSBSA, kayo po ay tutulungan namin either ng DA or ng DARFO sa inyong respective regions, maging yung mga municipal agricultural officers sa mga different LGUs ninyo. Ayan. Next slide. Ayan. Ito naman po, gusto naming i-feature naman yung borrower natin under the Kaya program. This is Jelen Joy Bernardino from San Luis, Pampanga. She said that managing her own agribusiness has not only doubled her income, but has also given her more time to be with her family and taught her how to properly manage her finances. Jelen was able to avail herself of a zero-interest, non-collateralized working capital loan under the Capital Access for Young Entrepreneurs or KAYA, which allowed her to start her mallard duck egg business. She explains that if not for her family's advice for her to pursue her agribusiness and the KAYA program providing her with the needed capital, she would have continued working in retail as a sales lady, but she prefers managing her own business through which she now earns an average net profit of 1,000 per day. Yan. Next slide. Yan. And finally, may I present to you the Agri Negosyo or ANYO loan program. ANYO, on the other hand, offers zero-interest loans to finance capital requirements of individuals, groups, OFWs, and micro and small enterprises that are engaged in agriculture and fishery projects. Next. Yan. The eligible loan purpose for the program is to finance the working capital requirements for production, processing, and distribution, and other activities in the supply chain, including acquisition of machineries and equipment and construction of other facilities. Borrowers may avail themselves of up to 15 million loan at zero interest, payable up to 5 years. Yan. So kanina po nabanggit ko na merong provision yung ANYO na magpahiram sa mga OFWs. One of the facilities under the ANYO is the ANYO for Overseas Filipino Workers. Under this window, eligible borrowers may avail up to 300,000 loan which has zero interest, no required collateral, and payable up to 5 years. Interested borrowers must be repatriated or unable to return to their country of employment due to COVID-19. They must also be registered under the RSBSA and must be in the Philippines at the time of the application. So ito naman po yung tulong ng Department of Agriculture through the ACPC para po yung ating mga OFWs na nawalan ng trabaho abroad ay pwedeng mag-venture, magsimula muli sa pamamagitan ng pag-venture into agribusiness. Ano naman po, next slide, ano naman po yung documentary requirements para sa ANYO for OFWs? Ito po yung basic documentary requirements. 1, government-issued ID, proof of RSBSA registration, simple business plan, na kailangan merong letter of intent, at saka yung OWA certification na siya po ay OFW at siya ay repatriated. Next slide. And so, Isa pa pong program under the ANYO is yung tinatawag natin na Agri-Pinay. The Agri-Pinay Loan Program was launched in 2021, last year lang po ito, as a special window under the ACPC's ANYO Loan Program. The Agri-Pinay is a targeted loan program which offers non-collateralized zero-interest loans of up to 100,000 per borrower for eligible women beneficiaries identified and endorsed by the DA Regional and Development, DA Gender and Development Focal Point Persons, or the DA GAD Focals, with priority given to women in farming and fishing households and members of the indigenous peoples groups. The loan will serve as a capital for their startup or existing agri-fishery-based income-generating projects. So, sa anyo po, meron tayong for OFWs na repatriated at meron din tayo for women. Next slide. Ayan. So, i-present lang po namin yung nakahiram na yung ating isa sa mga anyo borrower. Siya po si Kerwin Perez. He is the owner of Exciting Traditions Processed Food Manufacturing, a salted egg business located in San Jose, Batangas. In 2020, the ECQ forced the brand's traditional market channels to cease operation, leading to work stoppage and revenue losses for the company. To cope with the loss in revenue, the company introduced a new product variant to the mass market. Ito po yung hygienically cured salted eggs na merong shelf life mas mahaba, 2.5 months, at ito po ay naging successful. However, Kerwin found that his facilities could not keep up with the sudden increase in demand and could only produce around 10% of the market demand. Thus, he turned to the ANYO loan program to avail of a working capital loan. Kerwin was able to avail himself of a 2 million loan to increase the company's existing production frequency and storage capacity, increase active inventory, maintain the on-the-market shelf inventory, and maximize the utilization of the current workers and addition of part-time workers, and increase other raw materials inventory. Amid the pandemic, Kerwin's company is now able to provide ample supply of their products to local commissaries, supermarkets, franchise outlets, cooperatives, for reselling at the Kadiwa ni Ani and Kita markets of the DA. Ayan. So, including displaced workers who are looking for a livelihood. So, nakatulong pa po yung kumpanya ni Kerwin para po yung mga nawalan ng trabaho ay ma-employ niya. Ayan. Next. Isa pa pong anyo borrower ay si Ivy Acevedo, taga Agusan del Sur naman po siya. Siya po ay isang operations executive sa trading and construction company for 4 years. Galing po siya sa Qatar, pero unfortunately, gawa po ng pandemic, nawalan po siya ng trabaho. Nung nasa Qatar pa po siya, pinag-iisipan na po niya na mag-venture into agribusiness, lalo pa po yung kanyang mga magulang ay into agribusiness naman. So when she was repatriated in 2020, she pursued a banana production with the guidance from her father. The Anyo for OFW loan program helped Ivy to start her own business, and she was able to borrow from the Anyo program a loan worth 300,000. Ayan. Next slide. Ayan. So we recognize that our OFWs, yung ating mga young agripreneurs, yung mga magsisimula pa lang po ng business, ay kailangan ng capacity building support para syempre mag-succeed sila doon sa kanilang magiging negosyo or business venture. Kaya naman po, in support po doon sa different programs ng ACPC, kagaya ng Kaya at Anyo, ini-engage po ng ACPC yung iba't ibang state colleges and universities, maging yung iba't ibang government agencies, kagaya po ng ATI, DTI, at iba pong mga business development services para po mag-train at mag-mentor ng ating mga loan beneficiaries. Ayan. Next slide. Ayan. Sa ngayon po, dahil nga meron tayong mobility restrictions brought about by the pandemic, nilaunch po ng ACPC yung tinatawag namin na ACPC Access. Ito po ay isang upgraded version ng aming online application portal for all our current credit programs. Through the ACPC Access, yung loan applicants can monitor the status of their application online. It has a self-assessment feature which links applicants to the loan program that is appropriate to his or her eligibility requirements. It has an online appointment feature which allows the applicants to select the preferred schedule for the online program briefing and business planning workshop. Through the said innovation, the applicants will also know kung anong partner lending conduits namin ma-endorse once na makomplete niya yung documentary requirements. So yung pong mga interesadong mag-apply sa any of the ACPC credit programs, please visit acpcaccess.ph. Kung yung mga interesado po, ayan po, we would welcome you to visit ito pong portal na ito, acpcaccess.ph. Yan. Ito naman po yung iba pa po naming contact details kung gusto po ninyong if you want to get in touch with us. So kami po ay located sa Ortigas Center sa Pasig City. Pwede po ninyo kaming tawagan dito po sa different phone numbers na ito. Pwede rin po ninyo kaming i-email, and of course you can always visit our website and FB page. Yan. And that brings to end po yung aking presentation. In behalf of ACPC, yung aming pong Executive Director, Jocelyn Alma Arbadiola, thank you very much for your interest and attention. Siguro before we go to the Q&A, allow us po to share isang video po tungkol po sa aming Kaya borrower.
Nag-decide po ako na mag-resign bilang call center agent dahil sa schedule, sa transportation dati. Kaya nag-decide ako na mag-resign tapos mag-shift na lang sa sariling negosyo, sa pagtatayo ng sariling agri business. Nahilig po ako sa agriculture dahil nung simula po nung bata pa ako, mahilig na akong mag-alaga ng mga hayop at mahilig na din ako magtanim. Tapos naisipan ko kung kahit maliit lang na space, meron namang kinikita sa pagtatanim. Nalaman ko yung tungkol sa Kaya program dahil sa pagre-research ko din, nakita ko sa page ng Department of Agriculture. Tapos may link sila doon na papunta sa ACPC. Tapos nakita ko yung mga program nila at hinanap ko yung available option para sa isang kabataang katulad ko. Kaya nakita ko yung Kaya, tinignan ko kung ano yung requirements or eligibility. Nakita ko naman doon na pasok naman yung project na gusto ko tungkol sa integrated farming. Kaya nag-apply ako bilang startup business. Bali, nakahiram po ako ng 500,000 sa ACPC at ginawa ko po at ginamit ko po iyon sa bilang startup capital sa pagtatanim ng mga gulay. Sa kasalukuyan po, ang project ko, bali, Agri Fishery Integrated Farm po. Sa ngayon po, may palaisdaan kami na bagong acquire naman. Ang yung kinita po namin sa pagtatanim ng mga gulay at pakwan, pinuhunan naman po namin sa palaisdaan. Kaya ko po napili yung integrated farming. Parang mas maganda po sa pag magma-market ka, pag ano yung hinahanap ng customer mo, parang nasa iyo na yung lahat ng hinahanap nila. Sa ngayon po, yung kita namin, bali maganda po siya talaga sa ah, yung kita sa pagtatanim at sa agribusiness. Malaki po yung naging tulong ng pagninegosyo sa pagtatanim at palaisdaan. Kasi ngayon nakapagpatayo na din ako ng sariling bahay. Tapos may mga natutulungan na din akong mga kapwa ko farmers at mga kabataang farmers din. Inganyo po ako na mag-apply ng Kaya Loan Program dahil siya ay zero interest at babayaran mo siya sa loob ng 5 taon. Napakagandang opportunity po nun dahil ma-maximize mo yung capital na pinahiram ng program para sa magamit sa negosyo. Sa processing po, mababait at matulungin yung mga staff ng ACPC dito sa region namin. Tinulungan ako para sa mga plano at kung ano yung mga gagawin para magkaroon ng magandang business plan at mga proseso kailangan gawin para mabilis na makakuha ng loan. Yung strategy po namin na ginagawa para masigurado namin na mababayaran yung aming loan ay sigurado namin na magaganda at quality yung aming mga produce tulad ng gulay tapos mga isda. Maganda po yung Kaya program dahil pinapakita na kayang-kaya ng mga kabataan maging produktibo sa pamamagitan ng agrikultura at nakakatulong sila dahil nandun pa yung lakas at talent ng mga young farmers sa ngayon. At nagdudulot yun ng magandang kita at ani. Kaya nagpapasalamat po ako sa ACPC dahil napakalaking tulong po sa akin bilang isang kabataan na nagkaroon ako ng pagkakataon na mapahiram ng kapital para magamit ko sa pagtatanim at pagkakaroon ng sariling agri-business integrated farm.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you din po ma'am for that presentation, no. Very clear naman po yung mga projects na sinabi niyo, clear na explanation. So ma'am, is it okay po if we proceed to the open forum na po? Okay po. So now let's go to the questions, no. Medyo madami-dami din tong questions ng ating mga audience. So ito po, first question. What is the process in availing the various loans and who do we need to approach if we are interested to apply of the loans?
Yan. As I've mentioned earlier in my presentation, tayo po ay online application sa ngayon. So you can always visit po yung acpcaccess.ph. So when you visit that portal, nandun po, naka-specify doon kung ano yung mga different credit programs ng ACPC at mamimili lang po kayo based doon sa eligibility po ninyo. So once na kinlik ninyo, for example, kayo ay interested sa Kaya, nandun na po including yung mamimili kayo ng schedule for an online briefing as well as yung pag-attend ninyo, yung tinatawag na business planning workshop, as well as yung submission ng different requirements. Also, I would like to inform din yung ating mga nanonood or nakikinig na meron kaming mga focal persons or field persons na nasa iba't ibang regions ng nationwide. So meron pong staff ang ACPC na mga focal persons na at pwede rin pong magtanong or maghingi ng information about our credit programs sa DA Regional Field Office kasi meron po kaming tinatawag na Regional Agri Credit Desk Officer. So lahat po ng DA Regional Office, meron kaming RACDO. Ito po yung nagsiserve na one-stop information desk for credit. So you can always approach yung ACPC focal persons as well as DA regional field offices naman yung RACDOS po. Pwede pong mapuntahan. Ngayon, for more information naman po, kindly visit po yung website po namin, acpc.gov.ph.
Okay, I see. So, I think then po this answers the question about kasi somebody is asking if you have Cebu branch daw po. So, I think that was clear na rin in your explanation po ano na as of now talaga online tayo kasi nga sa pandemic. And then pero am I right po ba na assuming na yung branch niyo sa Cebu is parang near lang sa DA din na Cebu?
Nasa po, pwede silang magpunta mismo sa DA Regional Field Office. Siguro i-clarify ko lang, Ms. Joanne, na yung ACPC kasi ay ano lang siya, Manila-based lang siya. So wala kaming mga branch offices, pero meron kami mga focal persons and most of these focal persons, yung aming mga field personnel ay nakalodge sa DA Regional Field Offices. So pwede silang mag-coordinate by going through to the DA Regional Field Offices.
Okay. Thank you so much po, ma'am. So that is very clear to our audience. Please do check their websites and their other Facebook pages even to know more about these programs. Kasi nga malaki siya na opportunity, especially to those involved in the agriculture industry. And of course, feel free to visit your agriculture regional field offices din. Kasi nga nandun yung focal person ng ACPC. So ito po, may nagpa-follow up lang po daw since we are talking na about processing of the loans. Meron pong nagtatanong, how long yung processing ng loans po?
Oo. Through the ACPC access, guided yung ating mga potential borrowers every step of the way. So kinakailangan lang na complete yung documents na isasubmit nila. Once na complete yung documents, ito ay endorse na namin sa aming mga partner lending conduits. As I've mentioned earlier, we do not lend directly. By law kasi we are not allowed to do so. So nag-engage kami nung partner lending conduits such as government financial institutions as well as yung cooperatives, rural banks, cooperative banks. At ito yung nagpapautang directly sa ating mga farmers, fisherfolk, agripreneurs. So once na complete yung mga documents, 3 to 4 weeks, in less than a month, ma-release na yung loan, or it can even be shorter kasi depende doon sa requirements na sinubmit ng ating potential borrowers. So pinakamatagal na yung 3 to 4 weeks ng processing.
Okay, I see. So yun nga. So the more complete or so kung mas kumpleto talaga yung requirements natin or how fast we complete the requirements na kailangan per loan program, so mas mabilis talaga yung proseso. So yun. Ito po, let's proceed po to our next question. Ito naman po, what is the status of the access of loans in the country? Which of the loan programs is more access? And then are there limits po ba daw in the number of loans released per year? Mute po.
Yan, sorry. Base sa aming datos, yung data na hawak ko ngayon is as of July 31, 2021, lagpas na sa 28.69 billion or around 29 billion na ang napapahiram natin at ang napahiram natin ay nasa 230,000 na farmers and fisher folk at saka 1,321 na micro and small enterprises and group borrowers sa ilalim ng iba't ibang credit programs ng ACPC. Of course, pinakamarami ang nakahiram under the SURE COVID-19 kasi ito yung unang-unang na-launch. Lalo pat talagang ang target natin dito is mapahiram yung mga small farmers and fishers na talagang affected yung kanilang kabuhayan sa pandemic. And then as to the limits in the number of loans released per year, base naman doon sa aming terms of reference, sinasabi namin na yung borrowers can avail themselves up to a maximum of 3 cycles. Tapos sinasabi din namin na demand-driven kasi yung pagpapahiram natin. So depende doon sa pangangailangan ng farmer at pwede silang makahiram up to 3 cycles.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. Klarong-klaro, no? So, yun. Now, let's proceed to the next question. Ito naman po, may nagpapatanong po. What are the challenges and bottleneck in the credit programs of ACPC?
Oo. Of course, dahil sa pandemic, talagang yung mobility restrictions yung isa sa bottlenecks na hinaharap natin ngayon. Kaya naman, nag-switch tayo into digital, yung online application or online portal nga ng ACPC. Kasi dati-dati, kami mismo, we do the orientations at the ground and then yung aming operations group talagang napunta sa ground para i-facilitate yung pagre-release ng loan dito sa ating mga borrowers. Pero because of the pandemic nga, bawal mag-travel, hindi maka-travel. So panay dito na sa ACPC access at saka yung pagko-conduct ng mga virtual orientations yung ginagawa natin ngayon. So yun pa rin, yung challenge is yung pandemic natin, yung hindi tayo makalabas. So tinatry namin, minomobilize namin mabuti yung aming mga focal persons na nasa field. Kaya nga what we do is nagtatry kami na maghanap ng mga tao sa field para merong nakatutok sa probinsya para matulungan yung talagang gustong manghiram. Plus, of course, yung nabanggit ko na nga, ini-enhance namin yung tinatawag namin na ACPC access as well as yung paggamit ng different digital platforms. Sa pagre-release ng loan, meron kami mga lending conduits na digital na rin, pati yung pagre-release ng loan. Nakikipag-partner kami sa different groups such as yung Paymaya and other para magamit namin sa pagpapahiram para ma-enhance yung pagpapahiram natin. As well as yun nga, yung pagko-conduct ng virtual partners meeting at saka yung virtual orientations, etc. para lang matugunan natin yung bottleneck nga brought about by the pandemic.
Yes, okay. Ang dami talagang parang challenging na challenges na nangyari na dahil sa pandemic, no? And I'm also glad that ACPC was able to really adapt to the situation nga. One good example is really ACPC access kasi nga mas napapadali talaga yung serbisyo ng ACPC sa kanila to everyone because of this ACPC access. So thank you so much for that, ma'am. Now let's go to the next question. Ito naman po, are there credit programs which will be devolved to the LGUs under the Mandanas ruling? If so, what are these? And do LGUs have the capacity to implement credit programs?
Okay. So, yung LGUs po natin, lagi namang partner yan ng ACPC. Sa simula pa lang po, especially so yung ating mga municipal agricultural officers na nakalodge sa LGUs, sila po yung katulong natin sa pag-identify ng mga potential borrowers, lalo na po yung ini-implement natin yung Sure COVID-19 program para sa small farmers and fishers, kasi mas alam ng mga LGUs kung sino talaga yung mga farmers and fisher folk na affected doon sa kanilang mga respective areas. So, lagi pong nasa equation natin yung LGUs. Although hindi po sila directly nagpapahiram, hindi po sila nag-act as our partner lending conduits, lagi po namin katuwang yung LGUs. And also, siguro if I may add, isa dun sa magandang kinalabasan ng patuloy na partnership namin with LGUs is yung napapasok natin, yung tinatawag natin ng mga unbanked and unserved municipalities. So merong talaan yung BSP kung alin-alin yung mga municipalities na walang bangko or yung mga yung tipong mga far-flung areas. So ito po ay napapasok ng ACPC through the LGUs as well as our partner lending conduits. Makakapagpahiram po tayo sa mga farmers and fishers na nandoon sa ating mga unbanked and unserved municipalities.
Okay, so that's good to know po na meron talagang role nun. There is a key role of the LGU in the credit policy or the credit programs of ACPC then. So now po, let's go to the next question. Ito naman po from Rodelio Redoble Bison Jr., one of our Facebook Live viewers. Sabi niya po, mayroon po bang limited years para mabayaran po pag mag-loan ka po, ma'am?
Opo, basically, base nga po doon sa presentation ko kanina, ang maximum natin is 5 years para sa kaya at saka sa anyo. Tapos, pwede naman itong bayaran, of course, ng less than 5 years, depende doon sa pagpasok ng pondo or pagpasok ng pera doon sa iyong project, base sa iyong cash flow. Pero sa ngayon, for kaya and anyo, maximum of 5 years.
Okay, thank you so much po. So yun, that is clear naman po. Now let's go to the next question. This is from RQ Sal. Sabi niya po, if mag-submit po ng docs, pwede lang po ba sa DA registration of regional field offices?
Kagaya po nung nabanggit ko, pwede po kayong magpunta doon sa ACPC Access kasi po yung mga documents pwedeng i-send online. So, i-scan nyo lang po yon para po makarating sa amin. Pwede rin naman pong mag-submit sa DA Regional Field Offices, pero kung kayo naman po ay merong gadgets, merong cellphone, or merong access sa internet, we would advise you na magpunta po doon sa ACPC access.ph kasi nandun po yung different steps or yung process para po malaman ninyo kung ano yung next step ninyo.
Okay, yun. So, just to reiterate, no, mas recommended talaga po na pumunta tayo sa ACPC Access. Kasi nga, gaya nga ng sabi ni ma'am, nandun yung proseso at mas parang mas seamless yung inyong pag-apply and then mas guided din kayo kung dun kayo pupunta. So yeah, let's make use of our technology din kasi meron namang gadgets at hand. So gamitin na natin. Ito po, let's proceed to the next question. This is from Armin Garcia Damaso. What if di po mabayaran yung loan sa nakalaan na due date ng pambayad?
Ayan. So, siguro mabanggit ko lang na so far po, mataas ang aming repayment rate for yung previous programs namin. Meron kaming tinatawag na PLI at saka SURE. Ang repayment rate po namin ay nasa 90 to 95%. So mataas yung repayment rate. Pero of course, hindi naman natin maiwasan na merong mga pagkakataon na sasablay ka sa pagbabayad. Yung mga partner lending conduits po namin, ito nga po yung talagang nag-evaluate doon sa ating mga borrowers ay pwede naman pong magpakiusapan. Pwede kayong mag-usap para po pwedeng mabago yung date po ng inyong pagbabayad ng loan. Pwedeng ma-restructure, kumbaga, yung inyong loan. So, of course, lagi naming tinuturo kasama po doon sa pag-orient namin na yung loan or yung hiniram ay kailangang bayaran. So, part po yun ng aming financial literacy training. So, kaya nga sinabi ko kaagad na mataas yung repayment rate ng aming mga previous program. So, we do hope na ma-maintain namin together, of course, with our borrowers, yung mataas na repayment rate ng mga nakahiram na sa ACPC.
Okay, thank you po, ma'am. So, oh yes, so I think this is question from Luis Noble. So, this is somewhat related to the first question, no? So, sabi niya, what if di kami makatapos pagbayad sa 5 years? Is there a chance ma-extend para mabayaran ng farmer?
Oo, ayun nga po yung sinabi ko, pwedeng makipag-usap with the partner lending conduit, yung nagpahiram po sa inyo para ma-restructure yung inyong loan.
Okay, thank you so much po. Now, let's proceed to the next question. Ito naman po. Some farmers, especially in the remote communities, do not have IDs and other needed documents to apply for any of your credit programs. What should they do? Are there alternative requirements for these documents?
Actually, napaka very minimal at very simple yung mga requirements po namin. Alam namin na yung merong talaga mga magsasaka at mangingisda na wala talagang IDs. So, ang pwede po naming magawa dyan is makipag-ugnay sila sa kanilang municipal agricultural officer sa LGU para po sila matulungan na ma-register doon sa tinatawag natin na RSBSA. Once naman po na nandun na siya sa RSBSA, ibig sabihin eligible na po siya na pwede na siyang manghiram dito sa programa namin. Tinatanggap naman namin yung mga simpleng ID like voters registration or ayun, yung mga simpleng identification card lang po na pagpapatunay na siya talaga yung borrower na yon.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for clearing that up. And gaya nga ng sabi ni Ma'am Malin, yes, please do coordinate then with your local government unit, especially to your municipal agriculture's office para rin masali kayo dun sa listahan ng RSPSA kasi nga pag nasali kayo doon, you are already eligible to avail of these loans and iba pang services ng ACPC. And not only ACPC but other services ng for agriculture and fisher folks na mga programa. So now let's go to the next question. Ito po, for farmer and fisher folk who does not know how to read and write, what should they do to avail for the desired credit programs?
Ayan. So, ganun pa rin po. Pwede po kayong makipag-ugnay either sa aming mga focal persons. Meron pong mga probinsya. Yung iba po, regions, nasa regions lang sila, pero merong mga probinsya na meron kaming focal persons. Sila po ay pwedeng directly makatulong sa inyo. And then, pwede rin po kayo magpunta sa LGU through your municipal agricultural officer or pwede rin pong magpunta sa Regional Agri-Credit Desk Officer sa DA Regional Field Office. So, ito pong mga ito ang tutulong sa inyo para po doon po sa application form as well as doon sa mga documentary requirements na kailangan i-submit para po kayo maka-avail ng loan sa ACPC.
Okay, thank you so much for clearing that up po, ma'am. Now let's go to the next question. Ito po, sabi po niya, paano po maging part ng financial institutions with ACPC?
Ayan. Opo. Siguro ang ibig niya sabihin doon, gusto niyang maging partner lending conduit ng ACPC. Oo. So, meron po tayong tinatawag na accreditation ng aming mga partner lending conduit. So, pwede po kayong sumulat sa amin or pwede rin po kayong mag-email directly. Ibigay ko po yung email. info@acpc.gov.ph. Ito po ay directly po sa grupo namin para po matulungan namin kayo if interested po kayo na maging partner lending conduit ng ACPC.
Okay, thank you so much po, ma'am. So yun po ha, klarong-klaro po yun kung gusto nyong maging financial lending conduits with ACPC. So yun yung gagawin nyo para mag-apply. Just first and foremost talaga, mag-write ng letter. So ito po, this one is from Engineer Elenito Doran. So si Sir Boy, one of our faculty members from the Agribusiness Department. So sabi niya po, what are the chances of an applicant for loan for agri-entrepreneurship who are just going to start an agribusiness?
Yan. So, nabanggit ko nga po kanina, yung loans po natin for kaya, maging saan nyo, ay pwede po for startup. Alam po natin na yung mga 18 to 30 years old na potential borrowers natin from the Kaya group, o yung ating mga young generation, ay yung iba doon ay talagang wala pa naman talaga silang idea kung ano ang gusto nilang tahakin. Gusto lang nilang magkaroon ng business na agri-fishery based. So, ang kailangan lang po is of course yung kanyang business plan. So, once na nagpunta naman po siya dun sa ACPC Access, meron po kaming tinatawag na training, parang orientation on business plan canvas. So, doon po binibigyan ng idea yung ating kabataan kung ano yung mga posibleng programs or projects na pwede niyang pag-startan. So, wini-welcome po natin ito kasi nga po, sabi nga ni Secretary Dar, gusto natin na yung youth natin ay mag-venture na into agriculture, lalo pat yung ating population ng farmers and fishers ay aging na po. Medyo wala nang gustong mag-venture into agribusiness, kaya ngayon hinihikayat natin yung ating mga young to venture into agribusiness. Ganon din po yung mga repatriated OFWs natin. Of course, pag nasa ibang bansa sila, ibang-iba yung kanilang trabaho doon, pero hinihikayat natin sila na mag-venture into agribusiness. Kung meron silang passion to do agribusiness, tutulungan din po natin sila. Kaya nga po kami po ay nakikipag-ugnay sa API, sa TESDA at iba pa pong SUCs para naman dun sa technology na gustong tahakin yung agribusiness venture na hindi pa niya masyadong alam, ipapartner po natin sila dito sa mga agencies na ito para po mapag-aralan niya and eventually mag-come up siya ng business plan at ito po yung ipapasa niya sa ACPC as a proposal para po pwede siya maka-avail ng loan.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So, the youth should really know, we should really encourage the youth, to really venture to agriculture. And one of the things that your agency is doing is really through these programs. Pero ma'am, additional lang daw, kasi we talked about the youth na. How about daw po yung mga oldies naman, yung mga retirees? So are they still eligible for these for the types of loans that you have mentioned earlier?
Opo, ito naman pong pautang ng ACPC ay wala namang age limit as long as kaya pa po ni tatay na magtrabaho, mag-venture sa agribusiness ay pwedeng-pwede naman po.
Okay, sige. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now let's move to the next question. Ito naman po. In the vegetable farming communities in Bukidnon, a lot of farmers express the need for financial literacy to help them really pay their loans. What can you say about this? Do you have programs in support for educating farmers related to credit?
Ayan. Ayan. Thank you for that question. Siguro, allow me to mag-advertise na rin ako. Meron din kasi kaming regular webinar, ang tawag namin doon Agri Credit Talk. And then itong past two webinar series namin through the Agri Credit Talk, yung isa National Info Caravan, we invited the BSP to talk about financial education. And then doon yon sa National Info Caravan, and then nagkaroon pa kami ng isang session with the BSP na lengthily nag-talk about financial literacy. And as a result of that, nagkaroon ngayon kami ng partnership or collaboration with the BSP para makagawa kami ng modules on financial education. So we do we do recognize yung importance ng pagkakaroon ng financial literacy or financial education lalo na dito sa ating mga farmers and fishers. Kasi tuturuan natin sila on budgeting, savings, etc. So watch out po doon sa partnership namin with BSP. And also, ayun nga, nag-advertise na ako, you can watch po, you can visit po our FB page para po pwede ninyong mapanood doon yung episode namin about financial literacy or financial education.
Okay, yes, opo. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. And indeed, no, financial literacy is really very important, very essential, lalo na sa ating mga farmers. Kasi meron pa rin mga farmers natin na takot mangutang kasi nga takot sila na hindi makabayad. So yes, that's very good. And please, to our viewers, do check out the Facebook page of ACPC and look for the Agri Credit, sabi po ba? Agri Credit Talks. Para rin tayong lahat ay maging aware, no, and more become financially literate din, especially if gusto nyong mag-borrow sa ACPC. So yun, and ma'am, we do look forward to that collaboration you have with BSP para sa financial literacy modules nyo. So now let's proceed po to our next question. This one is from Rodelio Ridoble Bison Jr. Ma'am, what if wala pong land space kung sakaling mag-alaga po ng goats? Thank you daw po.
Yung lagi po namin sinasabi doon po sa mga walang mga lupa, as long as for example meron kayong rerentahan or iba ang may-ari ng lupa, as long as meron po kayong kasulatan na pinapayagan kayo na gamitin yung lupa na yon or pinapayagan kayo na rentahan yung lupa na yon, you can still avail loan po from ACPC.
Okay po. Thank you so much po. So yun, klarong-klaro. So now, let's go to the next question. This is from Dan Dols. Sabi niya po, what is the term of loan proceeds releasing? One time po ba?
Hindi po siya one time. Depende po sa evaluation ng partner lending conduit. So, mostly in tranches po yan. Like, first tranche po ay ito muna yung paggagamitan ninyo, and then merong second tranche, ito naman. So, in tranches po ang pagre-release ng loan.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. So ito, this next question is from one of our alumni, Carl Philip Abunda. Hi, Boy Bones. So sabi niya po, ma'am, what kind of cycle are you referring? Some crops and livestock are annuals as per experience in the area. Bank conduits are less likely to approve these loans. Example, cassava production, swine for breeding. So parang clarification po yung hinihingi niya.
Oo. So, yung sabi ko po kanina, yung 3 production cycles. Pero yung mga annual po, depende po kasi yon sa evaluation ng partner lending conduit natin. So, pwede pong ibigay niya yung loan na kinakailangan ninyo for a particular crop. Depende dun sa need ninyo. Of course, yung sa simula po is yung land preparation and all, pagbili pa lang ng fertilizer, etc. So, yun muna po afterwards. Kung ano na naman yung kailangan ninyo, yun naman po yung next na ibibigay niya na loan. Doon po sa 3 cycles na sinasabi, parang 3 beses kayo pwedeng mag-loan doon po sa product or doon sa commodity na ninyo na 3 cropping cycles siya. So 3 beses kayo pwedeng manghiram. Pero as to yung pag-release ng loan, depende po doon sa farm plan and budget po ninyo na isasubmit na sa inyo din naman manggagaling. I-evaluate lang po ng ating lending conduit.
Okay. So to clarify lang po, 3 cycles, 3 beses silang pwedeng manghiram. So yung ilang beses, yung cycles na ibig niyong sabihin is kung ilang beses silang pwedeng manghiram for that particular crop. So now po, let's proceed. I think this is the last question. Let me just check if it is. Yes, it is daw. It is the last question na po natin. Ito po. Through the years, what is the trend of accessing government credit programs? Is this increasing or declining? And what are the reasons behind this trend?
Yan. So as you know, yung ACPC is not only a credit institution but policy research. So kami po ay nagko-conduct nung tinatawag namin na Small Farmer and Fisher Folk Indebtedness Survey. Ito po ay ginagawa namin every 2 years. So basically, ang binabantayan natin dito is yung borrowing incidents ng ating mga small farmers and fishers. Saan ba sila nangihiram? Sila ba ay nangihiram sa informal lenders or ngayon ay nangihiram na ba sila sa formal lenders? So isa po doon sa gustong ma-achieve ng ACPC is mapag-graduate natin yung ating mga small farmers and fishers na nangihiram sa informal lenders. When we say informal lenders, pwede po silang manghiram sa kapamilya, kapatid, kaibigan, or maski po doon sa nagpa 5-6. So gusto natin silang mag-veer away from that informal lenders at ngayon ay pwede na silang manghiram sa formal lenders. So dahan-dahan po natin itong ginagawa. So in fact, during our last council meeting, ito nga po yung gustong pabantayan sa amin ng aming council members na sana yung mga napahiram namin ay makagraduate to borrow na sila ngayon from the formal lenders. Sa ngayon naman po, base dito sa data po, yung survey po nito ay conducted 2017. 2017 po yung data. So, 50% farmer and fishers are borrowing. And of this 50%, 33% po ang meron na ngayong access sa formal credit sources or formal lending sources. So, at least nag-i-increase naman po yung borrowers natin dito sa formal lenders. Kagaya nga rin po nung nabanggit ko kanina, nag-i-increase na rin po yung penetration natin sa mga unbanked and unserved municipalities. Kaya dumadami na rin po yung mga farmers and fishers na nakakahiram, na dati po ay walang access to credit pero ngayon po ay nakakahiram na sila sa credit. For the message, of course, in behalf of our Executive Director, Jocelyn Alma Arbadiola, we would like to thank Xavier University and ISAFE for inviting us para ma-present namin yung iba't ibang credit programs ng ACPC at ma-encourage na rin, especially yung ating mga youth na mag-venture into agribusiness. Alam naman natin na napakadaming support ng government sa ngayon para matulungan at saka mahikayat nga yung ating youth as well as yung iba pa na interesado na mag-venture into agribusiness. Itong pandemic na ito, na-realize natin na isa talaga dun sa important things that matter is yung availability ng food. So, kaya naman kami sa ACPC, sinasabi namin na yung loans na pinapahiram namin, lalo pa ngayong pandemic, ay para matulungan yung mga farmers, fishers, at saka those who are interested na mag-venture into agri and fishery business para ma-ensure natin yung ating food security at saka yung availability ng food lalo na ngayong pandemic. So with that, we would like to thank again Xavier University and ISAFE for inviting us, and we hope na through the presentation of our credit programs, mahikayat natin yung ating mga nanonood or nakikinig dito sa 46th ba o 47th webinar series ninyo. And ayun, so again, thank you very, very much.